You called me human, the alien warrior woman said. I summoned her. Alara had always been fascinated by the unknown. From the first time she saw a fragment of alien technology buried beneath the sands of Zarian 7, she felt an irresistible pull to understand it. She spent years studying these artifacts in the quiet research station perched on the edge of a crater, far from the bustling colonies. The station was small, but it was packed with strange devices, blinking lights, and holographic displays that hummed softly, filling the silence. The room she worked in was circular, with walls of polished metal that reflected the pale blue light of distant stars. Shelves were lined with alien relics, each one more mysterious than the last. Alara moved carefully between them, her gloved hands brushing over objects that had traveled across the galaxy, untouched by humans for centuries. Today, however, she was focused on a single piece, a triangular device etched with symbols that seemed to shimmer when no one was looking directly at them. "This one is different," she murmured to herself. "It's almost alive." She had been studying this artifact for weeks, analyzing its patterns, trying to understand the purpose of the symbols. Her computer screens displayed complex graphs, energy readings, and translations of alien texts. She tapped at the keyboard, cross-referencing ancient languages and energy signatures, her eyes scanning for any clue. "Come on, just a little more," she whispered. Alara adjusted the device, aligning it with a holographic map of nearby star systems. Her pulse quickened as the artifact responded, its symbols glowing brighter. A low hum filled the room, vibrating through the metal floor. It wasn't dangerous, or so she told herself, but there was a thrill in the unknown, in touching something no human had touched before. Then, without warning, the hum intensified. Lights flickered and the holographic map swirled, casting strange shadows across the walls. The air grew thick, almost electric. Alara stepped back, heart pounding. "Okay, that's new," she muttered. A sharp pulse of light burst from the device, blinding her for a moment. When her vision cleared, she realized the room had changed. The shadows were deeper, the air warmer. And there, standing in the center of the room, was a figure she could hardly believe. Tall, powerful, and clad in armor that shimmered with colors she had never seen, the alien warrior looked directly at her. Her eyes glowed faintly, like molten metal, and she carried an aura of authority that made the room feel smaller. "You called me human," the warrior said, her voice strong and clear, yet melodic. Alara froze, her mind raced, trying to comprehend what had just happened. I think I did," she stammered. The warrior's eyes narrowed slightly, studying Alara as if weighing her worth. She shifted her stance, the metal of her armor moving with a soft chime. "You summoned me. I can feel it in the energy. Do not lie. I can sense your intent." Alara swallowed hard, realizing there was no way to hide her mistake. She had activated the artifact in her curiosity, but she had never imagined it would actually summon someone or something from across the galaxy. Okay," Alara said, her voice steadier now. "Yes. I activated the device. I didn't mean to summon anyone. I just wanted to study it." The warrior's expression did not change. She raised a hand slowly, as if testing the air. "You are bold. Few humans would dare to touch a relic without knowing its purpose." Alara blinked. Bold. She had always thought of herself as careful. Curiosity is a part of being human," she said. "We like to explore, to understand things, even things we don't fully grasp." The warrior tilted her head slightly, considering this. "Curiosity can be dangerous," she said. "But it can also be valuable. You may have more worth than I expected." Alara took a cautious step forward, glancing at the artifact. You're from that device?" "Yes," the warrior replied. "I am Vera of the Calandra. I serve those who summon me, but I am not obedient in the way your species imagines. I am a warrior, a protector, and a seeker of truth. If your intent is pure, I may assist you. If not," she let the threat hang in the air. Alara's hands clenched. She wanted to run, but something about Vera's presence rooted her in place. There was power here, yes, but also something she could not define, something like respect or perhaps a challenge. "I don't want to fight," Alara said. "I just want to understand. I want to learn." Vera's eyes softened just slightly. "Then you must prove it. Show me that your species is worthy of trust. Show me your mind, your courage, and your ingenuity." Alara nodded. "I can do that. I'll do whatever it takes." Vera's stance relaxed, though the energy around her remained intense. She looked around the room, taking in the holographic maps, the alien artifacts, and the small tools scattered across the floor. Your station is cramped, yet you have managed to contain many secrets here. Impressive, few humans could maintain such focus. Alara felt a surge of pride. Even if Vera was a powerful alien warrior, acknowledgement from her was worth something. Thank you, she said softly. Vera's gaze returned to the artifact. This device is not merely a relic. It is a beacon, a guide, a test. You have activated it, and so the challenge begins. Know that others may seek what you now possess. Your species is fragile, but perhaps not as fragile as I was told. Alara shivered. She realized that in this one moment the fate of her species, at least in Vera's eyes, might rest on her actions. She had always thought humans were insignificant in the vast galaxy, but now, with Vera here, she felt the weight of potential. Where do we start? She asked. Vera turned, the metallic edges of her armor catching the light. First, you must understand me as I understand you. Only then can we act together. Alara nodded. I'm ready. The next hours passed in a whirlwind. Vera tested her in small ways, asking questions about human history, about logic and problem-solving, about ethics and courage. Alara answered carefully, learning as much as she taught. The warrior's assessments were precise, critical, but fair. At one point, Vera presented a puzzle involving the artifact itself. Strange symbols floated in the air, rotating, connecting in patterns that seemed impossible. Alara studied them, her mind racing. She traced the symbols with her fingers, whispered calculations to herself, and slowly began to see the pattern. Vera watched silently. Alara held her breath as she completed the sequence, and the symbols shifted, glowing brighter. A small hum resonated through the room, and the artifact pulsed with energy. You have potential, Vera said. Potential beyond what I expected. Perhaps humans are not as weak as they appear. Perhaps your curiosity is not merely reckless, but a tool. Alara smiled, feeling a thrill of triumph. Thank you, she said. I'll do my best. I won't let you or humanity down. Vera inclined her head. We shall see, but for now you have awakened me. That is the first step. The second step will be far more demanding. Alara's pulse quickened. What's the next step? Vera's eyes gleamed. Learning to trust and to act, and perhaps learning that humans may be capable of more than even they believe. Outside the station, the stars shone brightly, distant and cold. But inside, the room pulsed with warmth, energy, and possibility. The summoning had been an accident, yes, but it was also the beginning of something extraordinary, something that might change the way the galaxy viewed humanity. Alara looked at Vera, and Vera looked back at her. Neither spoke for a long moment, each considering the other, each measuring potential and worth. And then, quietly, Vera spoke again. Tomorrow, we begin in earnest. Prepare yourself, human. The galaxy is wider, stranger, and more dangerous than you imagine. But it may also be your proving ground. Alara nodded. Her heart swelled with anticipation, fear, and excitement. She did not yet know the full scope of the journey ahead, but for the first time, she felt that humans might be capable of more than she had ever believed. And so, under the hum of alien machinery and the watchful gaze of a summoned warrior, the first step of an incredible adventure began. The morning light filtered through the narrow windows of the research station, painting the walls with streaks of gold and silver. Alara woke with a mixture of excitement and unease. The previous night's events, summoning Vera, the alien warrior, had left her mind buzzing. She was still trying to grasp the reality of standing face-to-face with someone from another world, someone with strength and abilities beyond human comprehension. Yet, despite the awe, she felt an odd sense of purpose. Humans had always been underestimated in the galaxy. They were considered fragile, naive, incapable of facing true challenges. But now, here was a chance to prove them wrong. Vera was already awake. The alien warrior moved with precision and grace, inspecting the station with careful attention. Her armor, which gleamed with shifting hues, seemed almost alive. Every movement radiated power, yet she carried herself with discipline, not aggression. You are awake, Vera said, her voice smooth, calm, and commanding. Yes, Alara replied. I couldn't sleep. Too much to think about. Vera's glowing eyes studied her. Curiosity and reflection, human traits, some admirable, others troublesome. You must learn balance. Strength of mind is as important as strength of body. Alara nodded. I understand, I think. Think carefully, human, Vera said. Words may be your weapon as well as your tool. Your species is fragile, but cleverness may compensate. Alara took a deep breath. It was strange. hearing someone acknowledge human intelligence while also reminding her of their supposed weakness. The weight of expectation pressed on her shoulders, but she welcomed it. They began the day with simple exercises, though simple was relative. Vera presented problems that tested Alara's logic and creativity. One involved a holographic puzzle, floating geometric shapes that shifted unpredictably. Alara had to arrange them into a stable formation, but the shapes resisted conventional solutions. Alara frowned, moving her hands through the holographic projection, tracing patterns and testing possibilities. She thought of how humans solved problems differently from aliens. Humans used intuition, improvisation, and imagination, often seeing connections where others saw chaos. After several attempts, she discovered a pattern that wasn't obvious. With a quick movement, the shapes locked into place, forming a luminous triangle that pulsed with energy. Vera's eyes glowed brighter and she nodded once. "You surprise me. Many species would fail. Humans sometimes succeed where others cannot. That is worthy of notice." Alara felt a surge of pride. "Thank you. I guess humans do think differently." "Maybe that's a good thing sometimes. It may be your greatest strength," Vera said, "or your greatest flaw if misused." The warrior then shifted the focus from puzzles to strategy. She presented a simulation of a small, unstable asteroid field filled with moving energy barriers. The goal was to navigate a ship through the field without collision, using only observation and logic. No weapons, no strength, just intellect. Alara stared at the simulation, her mind racing. The barriers moved unpredictably and the patterns seemed impossible. She frowned, pacing around the control console, analyzing the paths. Then, slowly, she noticed a rhythm. Each barrier followed a subtle cycle. Using the ship's minimal thrusters, she plotted a course that anticipated the movement rather than reacting to it. The ship glided through the simulation flawlessly, avoiding all barriers. The holographic display erupted in a cascade of light. Vera's voice carried a note of approval. "Impressive. Many would have tried to force their way through. You adapt, you observe. Humans may lack physical power, but you compensate with ingenuity." Alara smiled, feeling a thrill of accomplishment. "We have to adapt to survive." "I guess that's the advantage of being human." Vera regarded her with something like curiosity. "Perhaps, but adaptability alone is insufficient. Strength, courage, and understanding of others are necessary. You will learn that soon enough." After the exercises, Vera led Alara to the artifact. The triangular device still glowed faintly, humming with energy. "This relic is more than a test," Vera explained. "It is a guide, a key to understanding distant knowledge, but it is also a mirror. It reflects your intentions, your nature. You must treat it with respect and caution." Alara nodded, carefully touching the surface. Symbols shifted under her fingers, almost like the device was responding to her thoughts. "It feels alive," she whispered. "It is," Vera said. "Some would call it sentient, others dangerous. Many civilizations feared it, abandoned it, or destroyed it. Few understood its potential. You are fortunate to have found it intact." Alara looked at Vera. "Why me? Why did it respond to humans?" Vera's gaze was steady. "Curiosity, intent, and courage. It sensed your willingness to act without fear of failure. That is rare among your species. Most humans are timid when confronted with the unknown." Alara felt a mix of pride and humility. She had always known humans were underestimated, but hearing it from someone like Vera made it real. The day passed in a mixture of study and discussion. Vera shared stories of her home world, the Calandra, a civilization of warriors and scholars valuing strength, strategy, and honor. Humans had a reputation among the stars as weak, fragile, and prone to error. But Vera's opinion of Alara, and perhaps humanity, was shifting. "You are not like your peers," Vera said as the sun dipped behind the crater's rim. "You are capable. Perhaps your species is not as insignificant as they believe themselves to be." Alara smiled faintly. "I hope so. We've survived a lot against odds that seemed impossible. Maybe we're stronger than we know." "Perhaps," Vera said. She paused, then added, "But the galaxy is wider and stranger than your imagination. Many will not recognize your potential. You must learn to act before they dismiss you entirely." That evening, the artifact pulsed again, sending a faint signal into the starry void. Alara and Vera both sensed it, a call echoing across the galaxy. "It is not merely a guide," Vera said. "It has detected others, civilizations that are aware of its presence." Some may be curious, others less friendly. You must be ready. Knowledge attracts attention. Alara swallowed. We'll be ready. I'll learn. I'll do whatever it takes to prove humans can handle this. Vera's eyes softened slightly, a rare gesture for the warrior. You are determined. Perhaps determination is the trait that sets humans apart. Courage and wit combined, that is rare. The night deepened, and the station was silent except for the soft hum of machines. Alara lay awake, thinking of the day's lessons. She realized that Vera was not just a challenge, but a teacher, a guide, and perhaps a friend. The next morning, Vera proposed a new exercise. They would explore the surrounding terrain, using both human intuition and Calendran tactics to navigate an ancient alien ruin discovered near the station. The ruins were a network of tunnels and chambers, glowing faintly with bioluminescent patterns. The walls were etched with symbols that seemed familiar from the artifact. Alara and Vera moved carefully, studying the inscriptions. Each symbol told a story, a history of an ancient civilization that had mastered energy manipulation. Alara marveled at the ingenuity. They were brilliant, she said. I can't even imagine how they built this. Vera nodded. Intelligence takes many forms. Humans are underestimated because others do not understand your methods. But ingenuity, creativity, those can overcome brute strength or technology. They reached a chamber with a complex energy puzzle, a grid of beams and nodes that needed precise alignment. Vera demonstrated how to observe patterns and anticipate outcomes. Alara followed, combining her intuition with the warrior's methods. Hours passed, and slowly they solved the puzzle. Light filled the chamber, illuminating hidden passages and revealing a small, hovering device, a key, perhaps, to the next stage of discovery. Vera looked at Alara. You did well. Your species may lack physical power, but you compensate with imagination, patience, and focus. That is valuable. Alara felt a swell of pride. Thank you. I think I understand a little more about what humans can do. Vera inclined her head. You are learning. But the galaxy is vast. Many challenges await, and not all can be solved with intellect alone. You must learn courage, adaptability, and diplomacy as well. As they exited the ruins, Alara glanced at the stars. She felt small and fragile, yet empowered. For the first time, she truly believed humans could matter on a galactic scale. With Vera by her side, there was no limit to what they might accomplish. And somewhere deep in the void, the artifact's faint pulse continued, a reminder that the journey had only just begun. The research station was quiet that morning, but Alara could feel a tension in the air, one that was both exciting and unnerving. The artifact had pulsed again in the night, a silent signal reaching far beyond the planet. Its call was no longer confined to the crater. It reached into the stars, and it was clear that others, unknown civilizations, might be aware. Alara stood near the station's observation deck, staring at the swirling cosmos. Stars blinked like distant lanterns, some steady, some flickering unpredictably. Her heart raced. For centuries, humans had been content exploring their solar systems, rarely venturing far, rarely challenging the unknown. But now, with Vera beside her, Alara knew the galaxy was no longer a distant dream. It was real, and they were about to step into it. Vera entered silently, her armor catching the pale sunlight streaming through the windows. She looked out at the horizon, her glowing eyes reflecting the distant stars. You are ready to leave this station? She asked. Alara nodded. I think so. We've prepared as much as we can. The artifact, it's guiding us. I trust it. Vera studied her for a long moment. Trust is earned, not given, and knowledge comes from observation, action, and patience. You have observed. You have acted. Now comes the test of patience and endurance. The test would begin in the station's docking bay. A small spacecraft awaited them, a hybrid design of human engineering and alien modifications. Its hull shimmered faintly, attuned to the energy patterns of the artifact. Alara had spent the previous days learning the controls, but even with her understanding, the craft felt alive, as though it responded to her thoughts and intentions. Are you certain you can handle this? Vera asked, stepping onto the ramp. Alara smiled faintly, trying to hide her nervousness. I've handled human ships before, and I've learned a lot from you. I think we'll be fine. Vera's glowing eyes narrowed slightly. Confidence is good, arrogance is dangerous. Remember the difference. Together, they boarded the craft. The interior was sleek, with a minimalistic design that emphasized efficiency over comfort. Holographic displays floated in the air, showing star maps, energy fields, and the artifact's pulsing signals. Alara ran her hands over the controls, feeling the hum of energy beneath her fingertips. "Ready?" she asked. Vera inclined her head. "I am always ready." The launch sequence began, lights flashed, and the ship's engines hummed to life. The station shook slightly as the small spacecraft lifted off the ground, moving through the atmosphere and into the void beyond. Stars stretched into streaks of light as they accelerated, the galaxy opening before them in endless possibility. Alara exhaled. "We're really doing it, we're leaving the station." Vera's gaze was steady. "Leaving is easy. Surviving, understanding, adapting, that is the challenge." The first hours of the journey were spent observing and learning. Vera taught Alara how to read the subtle fluctuations of star energy, how to anticipate cosmic patterns, and how to use the artifact to guide them safely. Humans had never encountered such phenomena, and even Alara's quick mind struggled at times. "You must anticipate, not react," Vera explained. "The universe does not wait for hesitation. Timing and observation are everything." Alara focused, her hands moving over the controls with increasing confidence. Slowly, she began to see patterns where before there had been only chaos. She realized that humans had a unique way of thinking, combining intuition, experience, and creativity in ways that other species could not. Hours passed and the small spacecraft approached a dense asteroid belt. Vera's voice cut through the hum of engines. "Observe carefully. The paths are unpredictable. Some rocks are unstable. Some emit energy that can interfere with your instruments. You must navigate this successfully." Alara took a deep breath. She had faced simulations before, but this was real. The hum of the asteroid belt was almost musical, each movement subtle yet dangerous. She focused on the patterns, anticipating the trajectory of the rocks. The ship glided through the belt, weaving between massive asteroids and smaller fragments. Her hands moved instinctively, guided by both logic and intuition. Vera remained calm beside her, offering silent guidance when necessary, never taking over. Finally, they emerged from the asteroid belt into a calmer region of space. Alara exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and exhilaration. "We made it," she said. Vera inclined her head. "You adapted, you observed, you survived. That is a trait worth noting." Alara smiled. "I'm learning humans can do this. We just sometimes doubt ourselves." Vera's eyes softened. "Doubt can be a tool, it keeps you alert, but do not let it immobilize you. Humans have potential far more than most expect." Their journey continued, taking them through uncharted regions. They discovered nebulae that shimmered in colors unseen on Earth, vast voids of silence, and distant planets that glowed faintly with alien life. Each discovery was a lesson. Vera taught Alara to read energy patterns, recognize signs of danger, and appreciate the beauty of the unknown. One evening, as the spacecraft drifted near a binary star system, Alara approached Vera. "Do you think humans are really capable of what you expect?" she asked. Vera considered the question. Capability is not measured by strength or speed alone. Humans have ingenuity, adaptability, and creativity. You can solve problems others cannot. You can endure where others fail. That is your greatest strength. Alara nodded. "We've survived so much, even on Earth. Maybe that's why we can handle this. Maybe we're stronger than people think." "Perhaps," Vera said. "But the galaxy is vast, and not all challenges can be met with courage alone. Strategy, understanding, and collaboration are also necessary. You must learn them all." As they approached a distant planet, the artifact pulsed again. Its energy created a small, glowing path through space, guiding them toward a hidden location. Alara studied the signal. "It's leading us somewhere, a planet or maybe a structure." Vera's eyes gleamed. "Follow it, but be cautious. Other civilizations may be aware of this path, some may be friendly, others less so. Observation and patience are key." The small spacecraft descended through the planet's atmosphere. Below, dense forests stretched endlessly, dotted with glowing, crystalline formations. Rivers of liquid light wound through valleys, reflecting the twin suns above. It was breathtaking, an alien world untouched by human presence. Alara felt a thrill of awe. "It's beautiful, like nothing I've ever imagined." Vera nodded. "Beauty is a distraction if one is careless, but it can also inspire." Humans often succeed because they see possibilities others overlook. Use that vision. They landed near a crystalline structure, partially buried in the planet's surface. The artifact pulsed stronger, resonating with the structure. Alara and Vera approached, studying the patterns etched into the glowing crystal. These symbols, Alara whispered, tracing her fingers over the surface. They're similar to the artifact. Maybe it's part of the same civilization? Vera nodded. A civilization long gone. They left knowledge behind for those who could understand. You may be the first human, and perhaps the first being to truly comprehend it. Alara felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. She was a small human on a vast planet, yet she held the potential to unlock secrets that had been lost for millennia. Together, they explored the structure, solving energy puzzles and deciphering symbols. Each success strengthened Alara's confidence. Each failure taught her a lesson. Vera observed silently, guiding when necessary but allowing Alara to take the lead. By the end of the day, they had unlocked a chamber filled with floating orbs, each containing fragments of knowledge, maps, star charts, and alien texts. The artifact resonated with the chamber, and Alara realized that this was only the beginning of their journey. "We've discovered a lot today," Alara said, eyes shining with wonder. "But I know there's more. This is just the start." Vera's expression was unreadable, but her voice carried approval. "You have adapted well. You have learned to observe, to think, to act. The next stage will test not only your mind, but your courage and collaboration. Be ready." Alara looked at the stars through the structure's crystalline walls. Somewhere out there, civilizations waited, some curious, some wary. But for the first time, she felt that humans could face the galaxy with confidence. With ingenuity, courage, and determination, they could survive. They could matter. And as the twin suns set behind alien mountains, Alara knew that the journey beyond the station had only begun. The galaxy was wide, strange, and full of possibilities, and humans were no longer insignificant observers. The artifact pulsed once more, guiding them onward. Alara and Vera exchanged a look of determination. Together, they would uncover the mysteries of the stars. Together, humans and their alien ally would prove that even the smallest species could leave a mark on the galaxy. The small spacecraft glided silently toward the distant planet, a world bathed in pale green light and surrounded by a faint, shimmering energy field. Vera's eyes glowed as she studied the readings. "This is the capital of the Zeothar civilization," she said. "They are advanced in both thought and technology. They value intellect, precision, and caution. Your species is largely unknown to them. Many will underestimate you." Alara felt a shiver run down her spine. The Zeothar were rumored across several star systems as clever, meticulous, and unforgiving. Humans were considered primitive, fragile, and prone to error. Yet here she was about to make first contact with them, with a warrior alien by her side and an artifact that pulsed softly with unseen energy. "I'm ready," Alara said, though her heart raced. "We just have to show them what we can do." Vera's eyes glimmered. "It will not be enough to show strength or power. You must demonstrate intelligence, creativity, and the ability to work with others. They respect solutions, not brute force." The spacecraft entered the planet's orbit. Below, sprawling cities glimmered in patterns of green and silver light. The Zeothar capital was a marvel towering crystalline towers, interconnected by floating pathways that shimmered with energy, and vast domed halls that reflected the soft glow of twin moons. It was a civilization built on knowledge and precision, and Alara felt small in its presence. They docked at a massive station floating above the capital. Vera guided Alara through the airlock. The Zeothar greeted them with curiosity and caution. Tall and elegant, with translucent skin and eyes that reflected the faint light around them, they studied the humans and their alien companion carefully. A figure stepped forward, clearly a leader, a Zeothar elder, her translucent skin glowing softly. "Welcome, travelers," she said, her voice resonating in harmonic tones. "You arrive from the stars unknown. State your purpose." Alara took a deep breath. She had practiced this moment, but now, standing in the presence of the Zeothar leaders, it felt heavier than she imagined. "I am Alara, a human from the planet Earth," she began. "This is Vera, a warrior from the Calandra. We come seeking knowledge and understanding. We wish to learn from your civilization, and we offer friendship and cooperation in return." The elder tilted her head, her multifaceted eyes scanning Alara. "Humans are rare here. Your species is considered weak, short-lived, and unpredictable, yet you speak with confidence. Why should we trust you?" Alara paused. She knew that any sign of weakness or hesitation could reinforce their doubts. She straightened her back, drawing on every ounce of courage. "Trust is earned, not given," she said. "But humans have survived challenges that others thought impossible. We adapt, we learn, and we solve problems that many cannot. We may be underestimated, but we are capable of more than most expect." The elder's gaze lingered on her, analyzing every gesture, every tone of voice. "Perhaps words alone will not convince us. You must demonstrate your worth." Vera stepped forward. "They are capable. I have observed their intellect and ingenuity. Humans can adapt and solve problems others cannot. I vouch for them." The Zeothar elder considered this, then gestured toward a massive chamber. "Then your test begins. Inside lies a challenge designed for those who seek knowledge and collaboration. Succeed, and your species will be recognized. Fail, and your place among us will be minimal." Alara exchanged a glance with Vera. "We can do this," she whispered. The chamber was enormous, with walls that glimmered faintly with energy patterns. In the center floated a complex structure, a puzzle of interlocking nodes, spinning rings, and floating orbs that shifted unpredictably. The challenge was clear: manipulate the structure to align all energy flows correctly. Alara stepped closer. "We need to observe first," she said. "Notice the patterns, don't rush." Vera nodded, and together they studied the shifting puzzle. Each orb moved in a cycle, influenced by the position of others. Any wrong move could reset the entire system. Alara's mind raced, searching for patterns. She noticed that some orbs moved faster when aligned with certain energy nodes. Some rings rotated in harmony, others in opposition. "This is more complicated than any simulation I've done," Alara said quietly. "Then think differently," Vera replied. "Observe, anticipate, act together." Hours passed as they experimented. Vera offered guidance but let Alara take the lead. Slowly, patterns emerged. Alara began to understand the underlying logic. Humans could see solutions in ways the Zeothar or other species might not, because they relied on intuition, improvisation, and lateral thinking. "Align these nodes first," Alara instructed, pointing to a cluster of orbs. "Then the rings will rotate into place naturally. Follow the cycles, not the obvious path." Vera adjusted the nodes, following her directions. The energy flows began to stabilize. Alara's heart pounded. They were close, but one misstep could undo everything. "Now," she whispered, "rotate the outer ring slowly, don't force it, trust the rhythm." Vera moved the ring with careful precision. Light pulsed through the chamber, nodes snapping into alignment, orbs glowing brighter. The entire structure hummed with energy, and finally the puzzle clicked into place, casting a brilliant glow across the walls. The Zeothar elders watched in silence. Then slowly one stepped forward, nodding. "Impressive. Your species demonstrates ingenuity, cooperation, and patience. These are qualities we respect. You have passed the first test." Alara exhaled, relief flooding her body. "We did it," she said softly. Vera's glowing eyes regarded her with quiet approval. "You did well. Your species may be underestimated, but you have potential beyond expectation." The elder spoke again. "Knowledge is not freely given. You have proven your intellect. Now comes the test of understanding and diplomacy. A neighboring sector faces a crisis, a natural anomaly that threatens both your species and ours. You must propose a solution, one that satisfies all parties." Alara's pulse quickened. This was no simulation. This was real, and failure could mean disaster. Yet she felt a strange confidence. Humans had always faced overwhelming odds and found solutions. This was no different. She studied the holographic display, showing the anomaly, a massive energy vortex drifting toward inhabited systems. It interfered with planetary communications, destabilized energy grids, and posed an unknown threat. "We need to understand the anomaly first," Alara said. "Not react blindly. If we study its patterns, we can anticipate its movements and find a solution that works for everyone." Vera nodded. "Use your mind. Humans have an advantage in lateral thinking. Observe, adapt, and propose a plan." Hours passed as they analyzed the anomaly. Alara noted subtle fluctuations, patterns that others overlooked. Humans could see connections across disparate data points, weaving together a solution that combined observation, intuition, and logic. Finally, she spoke. "We can stabilize the vortex by redirecting its energy flows using a combination of your technology and the artifact. The vortex is responsive to energy resonance. By aligning its frequency with the artifacts, we can reduce its destructive effects without harming the planets nearby." The Zeothar elders murmured among themselves, impressed by her reasoning. One elder asked, "And why should we trust that your species can implement this plan successfully?" Alara met their gaze. "Because humans are adaptable, determined, and capable of learning. We may lack brute strength, but we can observe, anticipate, and solve problems others cannot. With cooperation, we can succeed." Vera's presence beside her reinforced her words. "I will assist them. Their mind, combined with my skills and your resources, will achieve the outcome you desire." The elders deliberated, then nodded. "Very well, you may proceed. This is your chance to demonstrate not only intelligence, but responsibility and collaboration." Alara and Vera worked tirelessly. Using the artifact as a guiding key, they recalibrated energy conduits, synchronized planetary shields, and harmonized energy flows across the affected region. Each step required precision, observation, and adaptation. Hours turned into a full cycle of the twin moons, and finally the anomaly began to stabilize. The vortex shrank, its chaotic energy harmonized, and planetary systems returned to stability. The Zeothar elders observed the results in awe. "Remarkable," one said. "Your species demonstrates qualities we did not expect. Ingenuity, collaboration, and persistence, these are traits worthy of recognition." Alara exhaled, exhausted but triumphant. She had done it. Humans, her species, had proved themselves in the eyes of an advanced civilization. Vera's eyes glimmered with pride. "You have succeeded. Your species may be underestimated, but you have proven that ingenuity and courage matter more than size or strength." Alara smiled, feeling a surge of hope and pride. The journey had been long, the challenges daunting, but this moment proved something essential. Humans could matter in the galaxy. Humans could adapt, survive, and thrive. The elders approached them, offering acknowledgement and tentative friendship. "Your species has earned a place among those who seek knowledge and solutions," the lead elder said. "Perhaps one day, humans will be known not for their weakness, but for their ingenuity and courage." Alara felt warmth in her chest. This was more than a victory, it was validation for every human who had ever been dismissed or underestimated. Vera placed a hand on her shoulder. "Do not rest on this victory. Greater challenges await, but today you have shown the universe the true value of humanity." Alara nodded. "We'll be ready, humans always are." Outside the chamber, the stars stretched endlessly. Somewhere beyond them, civilizations watched, waited, and sometimes doubted. But humanity had proven that cleverness, courage, and determination could shine as brightly as the stars themselves. And as the twin moons set over the crystalline city, Alara and Vera prepared for the next stage of their journey, one that would take them even further into the unknown, with humanity standing taller than ever before.